You had to live through it to realise that it was counterproductive. But was it worth it? Probably not. Did it serve any purpose? Probably not. As I said, when I went into prison, the Shankill Road was out there. When I come out, and it's still there. It's still as British today as what it was 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. Loyalism and unionism, by and large, are, this may sound a bit of a contradiction in terms, they're by and large law-abiding people, and the state look after them, and they're here for that reason. But when that broke down, they took the law in their own hands. And I suppose loyalism, in many ways, didn't get that message across. I would argue because of, those that were involved in the conflict, and heavily involved in the conflict, either died or were imprisoned. And therefore their voices weren't heard. And it wasn't, I would argue, until maybe the late 80s, when people started being released from prison after spending quite a considerable length of time in prison, that voice was able to come out. And during that time in prison, people were able to reflect and see things maybe in a different light. And also be able to have a voice for themselves, as opposed to what's happened in the past was being led by the nose by certain politicians. And then they decided, well, no one's going to lead us by the nose anymore. We're quite capable of speaking for ourselves. So I think that was the sea change as far as loyalism was concerned. And why the story hasn't been told, I would argue that maybe it's not sexy enough for some people. Maybe it's only Republicans fighting the Brits, fighting against the British imperialism, and that's a nice wee story. There's worse things going on out there that need our joint approach to be dealing with, as opposed to what lines on a border. Borders just going all over Europe now, and hopefully the border here will just melt away, and we'll talk about real politics and get involved in real issues that matters. And hopefully that day's coming quicker than what a lot of people think.